It is Monday, and you all know what that means. We got a jam-packed show tonight. We have got MLB Trade Deadline talk at the end. We got top 10 wide receiver duos heading into 2025. Oh, and by the way, we have a lot of drama cooking up in the NFC East. So do us a favor. Kick back, relax, because episode number 57 of 609 Sports Talk starts right now. And welcome in, everybody, back to 609 Sports Talk live here on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, if you can't catch us live here on Mondays, every Wednesday, these episodes drop right over on Spotify. So do us a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow, and just enjoy the show. And as always, you guys know, this is the show that unites fans and ignites debate. And as always, we are your hosts, Dan Nelson, Mr. Top 10 list over there, Tyler Adams. And, of course, we will be joined shortly tonight by our friend from Chicago Sports HQ, Dustin Reese. He'll be joining us here in a little bit, hopefully, as we are going to be giving you guys our NFL coverage to get you ready for the 2025 season. Of course, we will also talk about MLB Trade Deadline. Boy, what a week that was. That was like Christmas on steroids. It's like how NBA free agency used to be. But now the NBA sucks and nobody cares. But before we get into all that good stuff, Tyler, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. Celebrating, let's see what day of the week it is. Another Victory Monday.
Yes.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is the gift that keeps on giving. But, you know, we're not just celebrating Victory Monday today. We're celebrating something else.
We are. We're celebrating a double Victory Monday.
Yeah.
AKA the 1 year since we returned to 609 Sports Talk.
Yep, it has officially been 1 year since 609 Sports Talk came back into everyone's lives. Everyone knows we came back. We were doing it for a while. We left for a little bit. Came back this time last year, and boy, what a year it has been. What an absolute year it has been. Tyler, just to double check this right quick, there are no chat messages yet, are there?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, I just want to make sure my chat's working, because I remember I had that issue a few weeks ago, to where we had to overlay the chat, but yes, what a year it has been. We've had a lot go through the past year.
We have. It's been one of our best years that we've had. A year that both of us, I know how much we both enjoyed doing 609 Sports Talk this whole past year.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt, it's been one of the best years of my life doing this. And one of the people that makes it so enjoyable every week to do 609 Sports Talk is our lovely Eagles lady, Miss Carol. Hello, Carol.
Hello, Carol.
Hope you're having a great night. Thank you for joining us once again. But yeah, it's been a fun year. I mean, look, you get to cover the Eagles winning the whole damn thing. What a time that was back in the winter.
Yep.
Oh, Carol's going to be in Philly for the month of August.
Carol, you going to try and go to that preseason game? Thursday night. Philly versus the Bengals.
Yeah, you get to watch the TJ McCollum start at safety.
That's Tristan McCollum, all right? Put some respect on CJ McCollum's name.
He's a Washington Wizard. I don't have to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Can
it's
he
okay. He'll
get
be
traded back to Portland? Yeah, I was going to say, can we get him back in
He'll
Portland
be back
too?
in Portland. He'll be back in Portland at the trade deadline.
They need to make that happen.
Carol, thank you. And of course, we also want to thank you, because if it weren't for your continued support and the support of all of our great fans, this would not be possible. We've had a very fun year this year with you guys, and we've come such a long way. I mean, when we came, look, we knew coming back, we didn't know what to expect. You know, we had gone away for a while, and it turns out we've made some really good new fans. All our old ones came in. Carol, of course, you're one of our newer ones. We appreciate your support. Mike has come along with us as a new one. We've had some great people on the show. Dustin, who's going to be joining us here in a little bit for Chicago Sports HQ. We have made a lot of new friends, a lot of new fans. And again, you guys make all this possible. Yep. If it weren't for all your guys' support, we wouldn't have the success that we've had. And this is only the beginning. I mean, 57 episodes in, and we're not done. We got a lot more to go.
Yeah. Just getting started, especially with the birds coming around soon.
Oh, yes, that NFL season. College is almost here as well. Oh, boy, can we not wait. Carol says she wishes when it comes to going to that preseason game. Oh, Carol, it's a great time. Great time of year. Football's around the corner, and then we're gonna be chilling here and just talking about the birds and all the other good stuff around the NFL.
Now, I get how we all like to say how we don't like the preseason. We all know we're gonna watch the Eagles and play in the preseason.
I'm not
saying. You're telling me you don't like to see what some of the potential players there are, how deep the depth runs. I know I am. I'm not watching it for Tristan McCollum, but I'll watch it to see some of those younger kids, some of those late round rookies, see how they look out there.
I won't lie. I do want to see guys like Ty Robinson. I know they said McCoob is probably not going to play yet because he just came back to practice.
Yeah.
So
projected starting safety, you're not going to rush him into preseason.
I don't know, man.
Sidney Brown, show us what you got, buddy.
No, I've heard Sidney's actually been Vic gave him some high praise today.
Okay.
It really came across today when Fangio was talking about him is that it really just was the injury last year that really why he didn't play much.
He needed to kind of like shake the rust off. Like he was physically healed from it, but he needed to kind of like get back in that football mentality.
Well, I mean, Dennis always made a great point about it. Sidney Brown didn't get cleared until the fall. Yeah. So, like, I understand the frustration with, why didn't he play more? The guy literally just got cleared.
And again, he's still a young player. So, it's not like he's an 8-year veteran coming off an injury that you could just slot back into the lineup.
Yeah.
And, they already kind of had it figured out. So, but hey, one thing I always say, I don't hate on nobody. I don't dislike Sidney Brown. I think he's got a lot of potential. If Vic Fangio sees that potential, I'm all for it.
I agree.
You're not going to get no complaints out of me.
No, and if Sidney comes out, plays a little more polished game, doesn't try to knock himself out on half of the freaking field every time, then we could be in good shape.
Real quick, we got Mike in here. He said just getting the Hail Marys in the sky. Anthony's in here. Said that the views for the preseason game were good. I'm surprised because I did not watch it. I forgot it was on.
Oh, what, the Hall of Fame game?
Yep.
I'm surprised.
Clint's here. What's up, Clint?
What's up, Clint? Clint, no wrestling tonight, so you can come right in. Not talk about Brock freaking Lesnar. That'll be for another day. But, Tyler, let's get into the first segment on the show. There is major drama in the NFC. Both Micah Parsons and McLaurin have requested trades out of their respective teams. Now, Terry McLaurin and Micah Parsons are both looking for new contracts. And, of course, the Dallas one is a little more trickier because, there's been reports of Micah Parsons being approached by the Cowboys on a new contract without his agent being involved.
Really?
And, of course, there have been some little digs that Jerry has taken at Micah in the media.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll start out with the Cowboys, Tyler. Will Micah Parsons be a Dallas Cowboy come September 4th when the Cowboys kick off in Philly? The floor is yours.
Man. You hit me with a tough question to open the show with. So that's tough because, yes, he did already request the trade. But I feel like there's still a chance that they can make something happen. I really don't envision them, completely just letting him walk away. I feel like this could just be on Micah's part of trying to stand his ground, because we've seen players try to ask out before, request trades. We saw Myles Garrett do it. He said he wanted to go to a winning team, and then he saw the money signs handed to him, and he was like, you know what? You guys are good enough.
So you guys are just fine.
The NFL is a business. It all comes down to, how you can manipulate your new contracts and your new deals. And I think Micah Parsons is probably just doing that. Like, do you think he really wants to leave the Cowboys? He seemed like he enjoys playing for the Cowboys.
Does he?
Now, granted, he probably would love to come back and play for a Pennsylvania team again, but I don't see a realistic option of how we acquire him.
Well,
especially with the Jerry tax, Jerry might just say no. We could probably offer him 5 future firsts, and he's like, no.
Well, first off, here's the bigger problem when it comes to that. If you're an Eagles fan, there is a defensive tackle that is going to be commanding a very big payday in the coming years.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't believe trying to acquire another defensive player and having to give him a large contract is in the cards right now.
So now, you look at it this way. With such a short window before the season starts, literally about a month away, I personally don't see Micah Parsons getting traded. I don't know that Jerry's going to get a good enough offer that he's going to want to part with him, because at the end of the day, you have to look at the impact that Micah Parsons has had, not just as an edge rusher, but for that whole defense, the entire unit. He sets the tempo. If you lose him, you're setting yourselves back further. You're already not the best team in the division. Now you're definitely not going to be close to being the best team in the division. And what are you going to get? Some draft picks? I think ultimately they'll probably come to terms. They'll find some common ground. Jerry's going to have to suck it up a little bit. But, I mean, we've seen how stubborn he could be in the past. But I ultimately look at it as he paid Dak not because Dak was one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's not. But because he knew that there was no greener grass anywhere to be found if he didn't re-sign him. And he paid CeeDee Lamb because he knew without CeeDee Lamb, they have no offense. So looking over to the defensive side of the ball, you have no Micah Parsons on your defense. You have no identity as a defense.
Yeah, and here is the difference between the organizations here. CeeDee Lamb, I don't count him. CeeDee was going to get paid his money. One quarterback in the NFC East, when negotiating his last contract, was to his agent, make sure my team is taken care of, so they can keep the best team around him as possible. The other guy took every guaranteed penny that he thought he was worth when he hasn't won a damn thing in the league. And now not the best defensive player on the team, the only quality defensive player on the team cannot get a contract. And now he's pissed. And this isn't just Terry McLaurin requested a trade. Micah Parsons requested a trade, but in his Instagram, they literally said, goodbye, Dallas. He literally said goodbye to Dallas. So, at this point, if you're the Cowboys, what do you do?
Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough.
Here is another situation that Jerry Jones stuck his foot so far down his throat that the back end's producing shoelaces. He waited. He's done it with Dak. He did it with CD, and now he did it with Micah. He waited. The Steelers gave Watt his money, and now Micah's price tag went up.
Yep. Which, I don't know. Jerry Jones has been around the league long enough. He should know that it's not a waiting game. The longer you wait, the more you pay.
Yeah. Let's go through some of our comments that are flying in here. And Clint said he thinks he will be. Mike said that Parsons has a lot of bids. I'm sure there are plenty of teams that would not mind having Michael Parsons on their team. Clint said Jerry's not going to let him walk, especially with Cowboys players changing their profile picture to Michael Parsons. Yes. Now the whole locker room hates Jerry.
Yeah. Which another bargaining chip.
Carol said that's a hard no for me anyway. Oh, Carol don't want Parsons nowhere near these Cowboys. I mean, the Eagles. She wants him nowhere near us.
Yeah, honestly, it would throw off the balance of the defense. There'd be a lot of changes to make something like that work. I personally wouldn't want to do it. We had the best defense in the league and won a Super Bowl without him.
Yeah. But so Anthony's saying that if Cowboy players really want Parsons to stay, rework your contract. Anthony, one guy has to rework his contract, and he won't do it.
Yep.
Every team, and hold on, let me get to these comments before we go. I go on my tirade. Anthony said Jerry Jones waited to pay Zeke. Yeah, paying Zeke was a problem anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is the Cowboys were always, they never paid running backs. Remember, they let DeMarco Murray walk. He had the best freaking rushing season in the NFL in Cowboys history.
They also kind of ran him into the ground.
Yeah, then Chip Kelly paid him.
Yeah, and didn't know how to use him.
Yeah, don't get me started with that again. Clint said Jerry Jones needs to realize handshake deals don't mean nothing anymore. Jerry Jones needs to understand that he needs to stop being so hands-on with his organization. And Mike said, ha, 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 it's too late, Jones. Here, this is the problem with most football organizations now. If you ever notice, the most successful teams, the Chiefs, the Patriots back when they had Brady, the Eagles, all that stuff. Why were those teams so successful? No matter who they lose, the key pieces stay in place. The Chiefs got Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones. Patriots, Gronk, Brady, Edelman. The Eagles, look at both sides of the ball. The whole offense is under contract. Jalen, AJ, Smitty, Lane, Barkley, Milata. All the teams keep the key players. All right, the Eagles lost a bunch of players this past offseason. Milton Williams is not irreplaceable. Josh Sweat is not irreplaceable. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, even though some people swear he's the next coming of Ed Reed, is not irreplaceable. The Cowboys, not only do the Cowboys not realize that, the problem that we have here is they do not know how to test the markets the right way. Howie Roseman saw the way the markets were going to go when Amon-Ra St. Brown got paid. 5 days later, Devontae Smith got an extension, and then the week of the draft that year, A.J. Brown got an extension because he saw what was going to happen with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and all those other boys. And he took care of his business before it even got to that point. So the Cowboys not only don't know how to negotiate contracts with their key players, they don't know how to read the markets. Because Micah Parsons now, you should have had this done before T.J. Watt got his extension because you knew what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen. We know that T.J. Watt was going to set a decent market for the rest of them, and he did. And now we have to wait because now Micah Parsons is going to get something probably north of that. So,
oh yeah, I think so.
Now we have to wait and see what happens there because where do the Cowboys go from here? I mean, T.J. Watt is now the highest paid defensive player in the league. So what does that mean? What's Parsons going to get?
More than that. Probably, I don't envision a lot more, but he's probably going to want more in terms of I want to be the highest paid.
Yeah, I could see it. I, without a doubt, could see it. Because, again, you got to ask yourself, like, if you get rid of him, I mean, don't get me wrong. What could Dallas get from Micah Parsons is another good question.
Easily, worst case scenario, 2 firsts. Probably closer to, dare I say, 3. Maybe 2 firsts and a second. 2 firsts and a player swap? I don't know. It would have to be quite a haul for Jerry to want to move him.
Yeah, Anthony makes a great point here. Mahomes is always reworking his contract.
Yeah. Like, I remember when he first signed that deal to be the highest paid quarterback in history. And I said it immediately. I was like, he's going to rework this deal almost every year to where they realistically will never pay him that much money. Yeah. And he's fine with that.
Oh, yeah. Guy gets paid through so much endorsements and everything else, he doesn't care about his contract.
Yep.
And I'm sure when Jalen comes to that point, he will do the same. He literally said to them when he signed his first deal, make sure my team is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure when it's time for, I'm sure, and Jalen's probably going to get an extension because it'll lower the cap hit.
Yep.
And that's another way of reworking your deal. You just continue to extend the contract and lower the cap hits per year. When it comes to, I'm sure Jalen's going to get one, if not this year, next year, because soon, I'm telling you, give it 3 days when Jalen Carter is eligible for an extension. 3 days, Howie Roseman's getting that done. Because you see the way the defensive player market's going, Howie Roseman is not going to let Jalen Carter go anywhere near another team. Mm-hmm. He's going to lock him up as soon as he can.
Oh, I know.
It's another reason why I said Milton Williams wasn't brought back. There's another reason that Jordan Davis hasn't been given a long-term extension yet. Not just because, they want to see can Jordan put together a really good year with his fifth-year option, but again, Jordan Davis needs to show them something this year to earn a decent extension. And so far through camp, he looks phenomenal. But when you got those guys in the middle, when you have those key players like a Jalen Carter, they are the first priority. Like Jalen Carter, he's got the ability, and he's shown it so far. He is like the Eagles' version of Chris Jones. It don't matter who's next to him. He's going to wreak havoc on you no matter what. So Anthony brought up, he said, how do you give Jake Ferguson a nice deal but not Parsons? So a tight end is – okay. Hold on.
I wouldn't go that
different
far.
Markets.
Yeah. One deal is chump change. The other one is literally making the guy the highest paid position player in the league.
I think Ferguson's getting paid. He's like the eighth highest paid tight end in football. Completely different market. Yeah. Not to mention, George Pickens is a free agent at the end of the year. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what happens, because if Pickens doesn't stay in Dallas, they don't have many weapons outside of CeeDee Lamb. So keeping a guy like Ferguson, who actually has had a pretty good rapport with Dak since going there, especially 2 years ago when he had almost 800 yards. Now, last year he struggled, but that, of course, came when Dak got hurt. So Ferguson has actually emerged as one of the more reliable targets for Dak, not named CeeDee Lamb. So, but again, one guy's getting paid the eighth highest contract at his position. Micah Parsons is going to get paid to be the highest paid defensive player in the league for about a year until Jalen Carter gets his contract. Clint said Tom Brady did all the time so much his base salary in his last 6 years in New England was $1 million. Exactly.
Yep.
But see, Dak don't want to do that because, Dak gets hurt so much, he got to have money because he's always hurt.
Yeah.
Dak wanted every guaranteed penny that Jerry would pay him, and he got it. But now your team stinks. And, of course, what is up to our friends over at the 302 Birds podcast?
What's going on, guys?
Saying go Birds. And they also said they think Pickens can be a rental for sure. Yeah, I don't. And even if Pickens isn't a rental, what do you got to give him long term?
Guess it depends on how well he does this year.
Oh, man, that's a.
I mean, if he puts up 1,000 yards next to CeeDee Lamb, he can probably get himself in the ballpark of T. Higgins.
Maybe. It's a large maybe, but. So we have some very funny Cleveland Browns news, by the way.
Oh, no.
The Cleveland Browns are adding to their quarterback room.
Huh? I just heard they were looking to trade somebody.
The Browns are signing Tyler Snoop Huntley, who spent part of last year with Cleveland, with Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel nursing hamstring injuries and Shedeur Sanders having a sore shoulder. So now they got 3 quarterbacks injured.
Shedeur Sanders got a sore shoulder because he couldn't outduel Joe Flacco. Is that what you're telling me? The ageless Joe Flacco was outperforming Shedeur Sanders in practice, so he hurt his shoulder because he couldn't keep up? Or is that what I'm hearing? Because I don't know if you saw, but Joe Flacco is the favorite to start the season. So it was funny, though, because I saw another report a couple days ago saying that the Browns might try to flip Flacco to another team. So I'm like, make up your damn mind. I get it. You got way too many quarterbacks, but geez.
If the Browns flip Joe Flacco to another team, they are 100% tanking for Drew Aller or Hey Klubnik or Nussmeier, whoever you want to put in there, they are tanking for a quarterback if they get rid of Joe Flacco. Because it is safe to say, even though he is 18 million years old, and the last time that he threw a touchdown, it was caught by a Triceratops, Joe Flacco is the best quarterback on the Browns roster. That is how bad it is in Cleveland.
Who would have thought we would have seen the day?
Oh, Clint, I could have told you that.
Dylan Gabriel, he was never going to be a starting quarterback. He might be a good backup in the league. Never saw him as a starter.
Joe Flacco. Was an Eagle for a split second.
He was.
Yeah, so for all Eagle fans that complain about Jalen Hurts still, go look at the Browns quarterback room and tell us how you feel.
Yeah. Good luck, Kenny Pickett.
Mike said Fletcher goes back in 2000. Oh, he's that old now, Mike. Who was their quarterback in 2000?
Oh, good question.
Clint said Pickett is the favorite to start. Oh, my God. The team and fans want Flacco, but Sanders has been the best QB so far. Oh, boy. So hold on. Let's just get this straight. When it comes to the Cleveland Browns, the fans want the old guys, the young guys outperforming him, but they're going to go with Kenny Pickett. That is exactly Cleveland Browns football right there.
I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't.
Good grief, Cleveland. You're killing us here. My goodness, Cleveland, you're killing us here.
I mean, let's see. Joe Flacco has enough NFL experience for how old Shedeur Sanders is.
I'm sorry, what?
It's only 4 years apart. Joe Flacco was debuting in the NFL when Shedeur Sanders was 4.
Anthony said something better than Caleb Williams looks like crap in training camp. Yeah, he hasn't looked very good. Neither is J.J. McCarthy either.
It's crazy how many younger players that they have on this Cleveland Browns roster. Like the rookies, like Judkins, 21 years old, Dylan Sampson's 20, Harold Fannon's 21. Like Flacco's almost been in the league as long as these people have been alive. That's why he's going to get the starting job. I mean, he's still doing it. He's not going to win him Super Bowl. He's not going to take him to the playoffs, but he'll win some games.
Fair point. What's up, Fratty? Mike said Bengals. Well, they got Joe Burrow. They're fine. They can't stop nobody, but they're fine.
Yeah, they'll score on you.
What's up, Georgie? Georgie said, hey, stay in your lane. Leave the losers alone. Okay. We didn't talk about the 49ers, George.
Ooh, man. I thought you meant to say the Commanders.
No, they're not losers yet. They have a quarterback.
Not yet. You're right.
Clint said the Browns did go to the playoffs with Flacco. They did. But
he did take it.
He did. And somehow Kenny Pickett's the favorite to start. George said he's been the best so far. 22 touchdowns, 1 pick. Oh, don't start with the preseason. Don't start with the preseason practice stat crap. So wait, if he's thrown 22 touchdowns in practice, how bad is Jim Schwartz's defense?
Ooh. Is Myles Garrett even trying anymore over there?
Myles Garrett is not playing. He's like, I'm not practicing with this crap. But no, where are we at here? We were talking about Micah Parsons. Now we're talking about all the quarterbacks in the NFL. What's happened?
This got off the rails pretty quick.
This definitely got off the rails very, very quick. But no, it's tying back into the fact that when it comes to the Cowboys, Dak Prescott's the one that took all that freaking money, and now the Cowboys
this is
are
all about Dak Prescott.
Yeah, all this is all about Dak Prescott more. Somehow we've reached that point. Anthony said Dylan's going to be the one traded out of Cleveland.
What did they even get for him at this point?
Then why draft him?
Exactly. They should have never drafted him. So here's what's going to happen, right? They might end up getting like a 5th-round pick in return for him. So you mean to tell me that just because you wanted to spite Shedeur Sanders and his dad, that now you're going to lose out on a better draft pick, which you wasted on Dylan Gabriel, to still just take Shedeur Sanders? All to prove a point. And the point being that you're stupid.
That's the point here. The Cleveland Browns are insane.
But Joe Flacco's going to lead the way.
Oh, God, Joe Flacco. I love it. 2025. We're talking about Joe Flacco.
It's amazing.
George said Picky can't hold a jockstrap to be a starter.
No disagreement here.
So, Tyler, what do we hold on the chance of Micah Parsons not being a Cowboy come September the 4th?
My chances on him not being a Cowboy, I'm going 20% chance.
So you think he will stay in Dallas?
I think they're gonna figure it out.
Anthony said, "Why would you trade Joe, who's your best, and Pickett? You paid him." Anthony, they didn't pay nobody. Pickett was to trade it for. For Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who, by the way, has looked like absolute crap so far in training camp.
You expected him to look good?
No, not one bit. Tanner McKee's my backup, so I don't care.
It's the Tanner McKee show. That's it. That's all you're seeing preseason. Tanner McKee.
All right, so Mike has a question. Mike said, do you guys think preseason should be shortened or moved closer to September and the Super Bowl moved to the end of February? No, Mike. We don't need to make the season longer. We don't need that. The Super Bowl at the beginning of February is perfectly fine.
I think it's good the way it is now. The only thing I could see them doing ultimately is shortening it to 2 preseason games. Because we're already at 3 right now, aren't we?
Yeah. And I mean, like, let's be real. These guys don't play. They're not playing their starters. Nick's not going to play anybody on Thursday.
No.
So, I mean, it was always kind of the thing that, like, the third preseason game was the tune-up game. You know, everyone plays, like, almost 2 to 3 series, and then they're all done. But then most of the backups are playing that are going to have some significant playing time. And even into the third quarter, some players would still be out there. Now, at this point, it's really just who's going to make the bottom 10 to 15 of the roster.
Yeah, basically.
So, like, I don't want to see it get to a point where, like, I don't want the season going into March almost.
Yeah.
I like the Super Bowl being in the first week of February. That's fine. We don't need to move that.
Yep. You get your playoffs through January.
So, and that's even what the way it is now. So, I would have no issue shortening it to 2 weeks because then you can have like the tune-up preseason game. Then you can have, because the other thing is they're basically getting a preseason game with the joint practices when they're practicing with another team.
True.
So you have those. You can just get the tune-up game in, and then you freaking have the second game where like the guys that are fighting for the roster spots. Teams going into the training camp know who's basically going to make their roster.
Yeah.
And Clint wants to give us the weekly reminder that we let Baker Mayfield walk for Live My Life like Deshaun Watson with him. Oh God, not the Deshaun Watson jokes again.
Man.
Clint says he likes it how it is right now. So 3 preseason games, and I don't mind it. But here's the thing.
It's fine.
But here's the thing. If they add another regular season week, the players are going to advocate that we need a more preseason time cut out.
Yeah.
Because honestly, another team, look at the way, I know we keep bringing them up, but look at how the Eagles approach it. Sirianni essentially treats the first 4 weeks of the season like training camp and the preseason. Nick last year treated the first 4 weeks and he said, look, we have a week 5 bye week. Let's treat the first 4 weeks, see what we have, and see what we have to do. Some teams may start taking that approach. And Anthony kind of echoes the same thing. Sooner or later, it's going to happen to add another week. You have to cut a preseason. Yeah, you can't. They're not going to let you add another regular season game and not cut the preseason down shorter.
Yeah, the preseason will definitely go down to 2 games.
Yeah, which, I mean, again, nobody cares. I know people claim they care. Nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares about the preseason. I will not watch a single snap on Thursday night.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
Yes, you will.
No, I won't.
Yourself.
I will not.
You're lying to yourself.
I'm not lying to myself. Brian, it's August 4th. We're not doing this already.
Brian might have a valid fear. Think about what happened with was it McCaffrey? Was it at first his hamstring and then it turned into the knee, and then he found out he had chronic knee issues. Now I know it's a totally different thing, but I mean, you never know if a hamstring injury can linger. I mean, geez, we've seen Keenan Allen's hamstrings.
They already came out and said it's nothing that they're barely monitoring it. They said it's just giving him a rest.
Oh.
They were practicing in 99 degrees last week. Zach Vaughn hasn't practiced in almost a week with a back bruise. Are you worried about that?
Yes.
Okay. We should know by now the way Nick handles his practices.
Yeah.
When guys are a little dinged up, he gives them a break. Makuba got it last week. Bond's getting it right now. AJ's getting one too. Smitty was out for a few practices. Jalen Carter missed the first few practices in training camp. We're good. It's all good. I'm not sitting here freaking out. It's August 4th. Oh my God.
Sam will be watching.
Oh my God. Tyler, did you not get the joke in that comment?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Clint, you done did it. Oh, Clint, you done did it. Oh, boy. Then Clint said Keenan Allen and his hamstring and his shoulder, another random injury that'll keep him out 5 to 6 weeks.
Groin injury.
Oh, God, please don't.
Twisted toe.
Twisted toe? Are you kidding me?
Sprained ankle.
Not sprained ankle.
Core injury. Remember those?
What?
Remember those? The core injuries. Those are some old Eagles days stuff there.
You mean the Deshaun Jackson one that was a 1 week injury, then he was out for 16 straight weeks in 2019?
Yeah, we were like, what happened? Did his core just disappear?
His whole core to be freaking evaporated. Good Lord. Oh, my God. Anthony said that you can bet on the spread and the over-under and points scored. Oh, my God. We're betting on preseason games now? This is what's come to in this world? This is where we've come to. You can bet on freaking preseason games. I hope the Guardians don't hear that. They're going to have another 3 guys suspended.
Oh.
It could be a sprained finger for Keenan Allen. Jesus.
Yep, not wrong.
Oh, boy. I'm speechless. All right, well, let's move on to our other contract situation we have in Washington. Terry McLaurin. Another person seeking a new contract and has yet to get it.
Yep.
Now, he did show up at training camp and he came in. They were hoping to get a deal done before training camp really got on their way. Didn't like how the negotiations were going, and now he has requested a trade. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Deebo Samuels.
Deebo Sanders, who is that?
Someone he probably wishes he was. Deebo Samuels is not a comparable wide receiver to Terry McLaurin. If they lose Terry McLaurin, which I think it looks like they might, it's going to take a big hit. Not only to Jaden Daniels and the chemistry that he built with him over his rookie year, but just the entire offense. I think it's going to take them down a notch, taking away an extra playmaker that Terry McLaurin is. And honestly, I think it really weakens the Commanders' offense, which was looking like it was going to be a strong suit heading into year 2, like it was in year 1. But you got to think, they're not a run-oriented team. They're an air-the-ball-out type of team. And to lose your number 1 wide receiver, because Deebo Samuels is not your number 1. If you force him to be your number 1, it's going to look a little rough.
Yeah. I mean, here's the problem with this whole situation. I have 2 problems with this. Oh, yeah, there has been no words, Anthony, of him getting fined. This just, first of all, Commanders fans, here's Joshua Harris, baby. This is your owner. This is what he does. I'm a Sixers fan. I watch this crap every year. This is what he does. Clint said, what are your thoughts on Jaden Daniels getting flack for people saying he needs to push the front office to attempt to get the situation fixed? Dude, he's the freaking dude. He's been in the league for a year. He hasn't had that kind of command yet.
He had a great first year. He's still only heading into his second year.
But this is where I'm at with this now. They don't have many other playmakers.
They don't.
Deebo Samuel, okay, he's a fine complementary piece if Terry McLaurin's there. If Deebo Samuel comes into the season wide receiver 1, you are screwed.
Yeah, that's all he was supposed to be, was a compliment to Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Not a number 1 wide receiver.
But even if you look at the offseason, they didn't go out and add much outside of Deebo. They brought back Zach Ertz, who's another year older. The Commanders have the oldest roster in the NFL.
Oh, Sam, they'll be fine. They have Michael Gallup.
Oh, shut up. Michael freaking Gallup. Knock it off. But again, this is the thing. You don't have a lot of money wrapped up into a lot of players. So what is paying Terry McLaurin the problem? And if it's really just the money, I'm sorry. Before last year, okay, let's subtract the first year of Jaden Daniels. Before then, the Washington Commanders / Redskins / football team have been a disgrace and an embarrassment for over 2 decades before they got Jaden Daniels. The only good thing before they had Jaden Daniels was Terry McLaurin, who was kind of almost having that DeAndre Hopkins type of run of, I'm going to put up 1,000 no matter who's throwing me the football.
Yep.
And now, after last year, where you Cinderella'd your way all the way to the NFC Championship game, now you decide this is not the time to pay the only star playmaker you have? Because I hate to break it to you. You have no long-term answer at the tight end position. I don't know what your running back situation is. Austin Eckler at this point is nothing more than a third-down pass catcher, and Brian Robinson stinks. I hate to break it to you. Brian Robinson stinks.
They're literally running back their same four-man backfield from last year.
They're running back the whole offense, minus their offensive line, which I love.
They got a really good offensive line.
Oh, Tunsil? Connerly? Oh, my God. Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels is going to have all day to throw in the pocket.
Don't forget Beyond is at center.
Maybe I have to go get Micah.
Nah.
But that's the point, though. The goal is to protect him. But the fact that the only viable offensive weapon that is reliable enough can't get paid. And for the people that are saying it, and I know Anthony brought up, they're trying to get the money to work. How the heck does my team have 4 top-tier playmakers, and we found a way to make it work?
Well, not everybody. It's Howie Roseman.
And this is the time to... I stuck a nerve. Sorry, Clint. This is the point that I'm at here. You have Jaden Daniels for the next 4 years on a rookie contract. Now, granted, that may change because they're going to have to extend him because the quarterback market only goes one way, and that's up. So, for that, this is the time to pay Terry McLaurin because you could pay Terry McLaurin now. And then by time you have time when it's time to pay Jaden Daniels, maybe McLaurin's at the age where you wouldn't want to bring him back at his age because he's great and he's already 30, isn't he?
He is.
I'm pretty sure he's 30.
He is. Hold on. Oh, well, 29. Yeah, almost 30.
Okay, so his contract's going to pay him until he's probably, 33?
Yeah.
That's kind of around the time where you start questioning, do you want to give a a wide receiver another contract? That's kind of where you're approaching. So when it's time to pay Jaden Daniels, you'll be fine. Because hopefully before then you find another wide receiver that could be a valuable option for you. But I really don't get where we're going with this.
Yeah, I mean, like we both said, outside of McLaurin, they got nothing. Oh. It's not even like they have a solid, this could work. No. They don't got nothing.
And and like I said, I'm sure Debo I think Debo has the upside to be a solid number 2. I really think he does. I'm not a Debo guy, so I don't know, but what do you want? Like, what is the problem here? They're not paying much. I know they had to take on some Tunsil's deal, but still. Yeah, you know what? I forgot Payne's contract kind of hurt. But even then, still, Anthony, are you telling me that that's really going to cause them to have to not pay the most valuable piece to their offense?
Yeah, right.
Let me go look at the Commanders roster real quick. I'm a little confused now. We know the Jaden Daniels situation. Eckler's not making much. I'm just going through like guys that are known. Zach Ertz, he's on a 1-year deal, so that's expiring. Ain't got much. Oh my God, they really don't have a tight end room. Holy crap! Oh my God. Just from looking at this depth chart, yes, please pay Terry McLaurin. Oh my God. This is actually like really bad.
Don't have much of a tight end room, much of a wide receiver room.
I mean, all right, their Payne's got his contract, so he's getting paid a decent amount. But outside of him, they ain't paying money guys on that side of the football either. Linebackers, I mean, Luvu's making a little bit of money for a linebacker, but not crazy amount.
Yeah.
Wagner's on a 1-year deal.
Von Miller's not making a whole lot.
All right, take into consideration Lattimore, too. Lattimore's probably got a hefty price tag, too.
Yeah.
But still, there's not enough there for me to be saying, why is Terry McLaurin not got a contract? Terry McLaurin is more valuable than almost every player I've said in the past 5 minutes. Mike said Commanders versus Cowboys in a Turkey Bowl. Who wins? Taking bets. Oh, God. Anthony said, we took Lattimore. Yeah, Anthony, we just brought that up. I didn't take it into that consideration about Lattimore.
Now, Anthony, wait, who was it? Oh, no, Clint said it. He wants a contract like DK.
I'd easily take him over DK.
So I'm going to ask the question, what the hell's the problem?
Yeah. If he's not asking for anything outlandish like Jamar Chase, then what the heck is the problem?
Terry McLaurin has put up over 1,000 yards in every year besides his rookie year, which was around 900. DK Metcalf in his career, 900, 1,300, 967, 1,000, 1,100, 992. What's the problem? If he wants a contract like DK, that's pretty damn identical.
And Anthony's saying that he's 30. And what's the point?
DK's 27.
And I think Terry's better than him.
I think so too. As a route runner, playmaker, DK's a good hands, big target, but I'll take McLaurin over him.
Is time in here saying if you aren't going to pay Terry, how are you replacing him? You don't draft high enough, and any free agent is going to cost that much and probably be worse. Exactly. You've already got.
Yep.
You've already got the guy that's been there for a long time. And yes, I am aware that McLaurin is almost 3 years older than DK. And guess what? Terry McLaurin is better than DK. So I don't understand. I don't understand what the problem is here.
Can't answer that question either. I don't know what the problem is. Except for Commanders are just going to end up being the Commanders at the end of the day. It's kind of like Jerry Jones. Some things never change.
Well, I was having a good show.
Oh, my God.
Brian wants to know if this is true. Embiid's knee is reportedly in bad shape, and he's likely to miss the start of training camp. Brian, according to Daryl Morey, they said he was going to be ready right around training camp, so I don't know.
Just wait and see if he shows up.
Some around the league believe the Sixers regret extending him. I could have freaking told you that. I regret drafting him.
No.
Okay. Because all these second round exits have been worth the third overall pick. So, but no. Yeah, exactly, Clint. You have to pay the guy. And like I said, I understand they took on some money. I know they took on money with Lattimore. I know they took on some money with Tunsil, and I'm aware that they took on some stuff with Lattimore, Tunsil, and they are Debo's got like $17 million this year, but it's expiring.
Yeah.
So it's not going to affect you this year.
You got to pay him. Get a 3-year extension. That'll put him into about 33. You reevaluate what he brings to the table there on if you keep him for a lower price tag at that age or let him go. But at this point in time, you need him if you want a chance. Not just in the NFC, but in the division itself.
Yeah.
Because, I'm sorry, no Terry McLaurin. The Commanders aren't competing with the Eagles.
It's already questionable if they can compete with the Eagles with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, because the Eagles' corners do a pretty good job of shutting them down. Mr. number 49 on the NFL Top 100.
And not to mention, we have numbers. Imagine this. We went from cornerback heck to having 2 in the top 60.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Oh, yeah. What a time to be an Eagles fan.
Mike, I love the first place finish. I don't know about that second place team, though.
Yeah, I definitely swap around. Let's see. Commanders with McLaurin finishing behind the Eagles. Without, I see them finishing third. I still see the Giants finishing last in the division. They're not there yet.
You know, when we did top 10 defenses last week, another team I had right on the outside was the Giants. I really liked their defense.
I did too.
I mean, they adding to what they already had, which was Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Thibodeau, Fabio Kikri, Deontay Banks needs to. If Banks gets back to what he did for his rookie year, they added Paulson Adebo from the Saints. They got Javon Holland from the Dolphins. Oh, not to mention you drafted Alexander, the defensive tackle from Toledo. Oh, not to mention you drafted this guy named Abdul Carter.
Yeah. Still don't know how they walked away with Abdul Carter and Darius Alexander.
And Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
I think the Giants have a very good defense. I think it could be top 15. I know it's not saying much, but top 15 is pretty solid. So Anthony asked a question here. Where'd it go? Where'd you go, Anthony? I know you got a comment. Here it is.
What about Trey Henderson?
Yes, he asked what's the latest on Trey Hendrickson. So from what I have seen recently was he went to the Bengals facility before training camp to try to iron out a deal. Nothing happened. He left, went back to, I think, Florida, and decided, I'm not coming in for a while. And then he then reported. He decided not to hold out, and he is now reported. Still no new contract, but he is in training camp. So
interesting.
Another situation where I could rant here for a whole hour. So, I mean, that's just another team that I have no time for, the Cincinnati Bengals, because, I mean, it took until the freaking end of July to sign their first-round pick.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, Anthony, there isn't much traction on a new deal for Hendrickson at this time. I haven't heard anything new since he's reported, so we kind of just have to wait and see. I mean, if they want to... they're like I said, they're already the worst defense in football with Trey Hendrickson. I would love to know what they're going to be without Trey Hendrickson.
The world's first no defense.
Oh, dear Lord. I knew somebody was going to bring up Jameis Winston tonight.
Jameis Winston.
Why?
Man, that's honestly the biggest loss that the Cleveland Browns suffered in the last 5 years.
Oh, dear God.
Forget about Baker Mayfield and letting him walk. Jameis Winston, letting his personality and his motivation walk out of that building, it just took all the hope away.
Why? Tyler, why do you do this to me?
Let's hope none of the Clevelanders heard that.
They're watching the show. Two teams about to forget. Oh, God. No, Mike, I want to forget the Mets. When is first roster cut? That is a good question. Isn't that after the second preseason game?
I think so, later in August.
Yeah, I think it's like after the second preseason game because I thought it was after the first two originally, so I'm assuming it's sometime around the second because you really don't have time after one preseason game,
Yeah.
But all right, so let's since we've talked about both of these guys right now, I know you said, what did you just say? You said Micah, there's a 20% chance you think he doesn't he stays in Dallas?
Yeah.
So 80% you say he stays.
Yep.
Well, it said the gap between closer on negotiations, but the issue with Hendrickson and the Bengals is guaranteed money. Yeah, and it's really not even that. It's the fact that all they're offering him is oh my God. Sorry, Harrison Bader hit a 3-run home run.
Welcome to 609 Live Reactions.
Welcome to the Philadelphia Phillies. Harrison Bader, a 3-run blast to give the Phillies the lead. Already better than Max Kepler. Good job, Phil. But so I'm gonna give it a 70% chance that Micah stays in Dallas. What are your percentages on Terry McLaurin?
I think it's looking like a 40% chance that he stays.
You think there's a better shot that Micah stays in Dallas than Terry stays in Washington?
I just don't trust Washington's front office. Like, I get all the trash. No, here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, Jerry Jones knows when he's about to really drop the ball badly. And that's when he folds and he caves in. Because I'm telling you, one thing, Jerry honestly don't care about winning Super Bowls. The one thing he cares about is if he can get his team to a winning record and into the playoffs, and that's it.
Yep. Well, Tyler, our guest has finally joined us. Let's get Dustin in here with us real quick.
Get him in here.
What? Why is it not working? Hold on. There we go. Dustin, what's up, buddy?
I'm going to punch a table. I'm going to punch tables. That's what I'm going to
do. Why is that?
How can we answer the same question 25 times and word it differently and still get the same question asked 25 times because people don't listen?
Fair point. All right. So, by the way, also before we get into our next segment, Zolt said there's only one cut date, and that's August 27th. You have to go from 90 to 53. Yeah, good luck with that.
There'll be cut dates because they'll be cutting people every day, little by little, and you won't know anything about it.
Yep.
Fair point. All right. Now let me just get Zolt's last comment here, and then we can start into our next segment. And he said Hendrickson's issue is definitely about guaranteed money, but not how you think. Learn more tomorrow night on Dueling Aces during Zolt time, roughly 9:30. So, from what I've heard with the Bengals, it's not the guaranteed money per se. It's a lot to do with the years. They're only offering him 1 year of guaranteed money. He wants more than that.
Yeah.
Which that's fair. Only 1 year
I mean,
guaranteed money? That's like, damn.
I'm giving you 35 sacks in the past 2 years, and that's all I'm worth? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, gentlemen. So, Dustin, of course, thank you once again for joining us.
Yep,
Yeah,
welcome in, Dustin.
I was trying to hurry it up to get on quicker, but nothing I can do on that end.
Nah, you're fine, buddy. You're more than fine. So now that Dustin's here with us, he will be part of our final two segments here tonight, which one of them involves baseball, the other one involves some more NFL. So for you guys now, we are going to start, as we said, each week we're giving you guys our top 10 lists of certain things around the NFL. Last week, Tyler and I did top 10 defenses. I think that we hit those out of the park. Tyler, of course, still thinks all my top 10 lists suck, but that's fine.
It's just the way it is, Sam. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings. So this week for you guys, we are putting together our top 10 wide receiver duos for 2025. So, Tyler, do we want to just kind of go with how we did last week? We'll just go, everyone will reveal number 10, then number 9, then number 8.
Yeah, I think we'll just run it down like that.
Okay, so let's get this thing kicked off here. And we'll start at number 10. Who would like to go first?
Any takers?
You can go first, Sam, since he hates your list anyways.
You know what? That's fair. Yep. I like that idea, Dustin.
Wait, what did he say?
He said that you can go first since your list sucks. He didn't use those exact words. Not exact words.
Not my exact words.
That's how I interpreted what he said.
I said you can go first. I said you can go first since Tyler hates your list.
Tyler always hates my list, even though my lists are usually better than his. But anyway. So, I won't lie. Towards the bottom end of these lists, this got a little difficult for me.
I agree. I felt the same way about the defenses.
Because there are some teams that have a really good wide receiver, but nobody else opposite of that.
Yep.
So, at my number 10, I have... The reason they're at number 10 here is because I'm not really sure what this team is going to be. One of these players' health is a very big concern. And this is their first year together. My number 10, I'm going down to Seattle.
Oh, number 10.
Cooper Kupp and JSN. I thought JSN last year, man, had a really good year. That was with Lockett and DK still on the team. Now they're both gone. He's absolutely the number one wide receiver. I like him going in there as the number one. Cooper Kupp's going to take over the middle of the field and take all those routes away. The big issues with this duo, why it's at number 10, Cooper Kupp's health, and I have no idea what Sam Darnold I will be getting this year. So I still do like the potential of this duo, but there is a little bit of concern, but I think the upside's there.
Lots of potential.
So that's my number 10.
All right.
Who?
Oh, I'll kick off my number 10. Yeah. I have the Miami Dolphins. Some people might say it's a little low. I kind of am in the same boat with last year. Their offense wasn't the same of what we've seen in the past. Now, a lot of that had to do with Tua being in and out constantly throughout the season, and them even having to go down the depth chart to like QB3. But Tyreek Hill, still Tyreek Hill. I think he could have 1,000-yard season easily again this year. Jalen Waddle even kind of had a bit of a down year, but he still is a very good wide receiver too. He's almost in that gray area between he could be a wide receiver one on a bad team, but on the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill, he's a number 2. So they slot into my 10 spot. And yeah.
Okay. I'm surprised. You really do have them low. I was surprised. I thought you would have a little higher, Tyler.
Nope, that's where I thought was a fair ranking for him. I mean, based off of last year, coming into this year, it's kind of unknown. If I'm basing it off of like 2 years ago, they'd probably be a lot higher.
Damn it, Clint. You either get Sam Darnold, Sam Mata, or I see ghost version of Sam Darnold. Okay. Jeez. All right, Dustin, who do you got racking in at number 10?
So this is more so a number 10 if they stay together this year.
Fair.
But I got Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel as my 10.
Okay, fair.
You have Terry McLaurin, one of the more underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Only one season that he's had less than 1,000 yards was his rookie year, and he had 929 his rookie year. And then you have Deebo Samuel, when used properly and is not used as a running back, has proven he can be a 12 or 1,300-yard receiver. So you're adding another weapon to give Jaden Daniels what he already has.
I will just say this. I don't want to spoil much of it. All I will say is that Dustin did text me his list earlier in the night because of him not knowing what time he'd be on. It's very creative. I'm going to give him that.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil anything, though. So, all right. Moving on to number 9. I have CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Okay.
Now, another reasoning, another duo that is new. They've never played together. George Pickens has never been known to have the greatest attitude when the football is not thrown to him. Not to mention, I have no idea what kind of offense they're running with Schottenheimer. Oh, I really don't know. Is Dak going to get through a full season? All I will say is, just alone, if Dak gets through a full season, they're going to throw the football a ton. I know they drafted Jaden Blue, but their running back room is Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. They are what they are. They're rotational backs at best. They're going to throw the rock this year. However, all those things I took into account there, Dak's health, Lamb and Pickens never playing together, and I think CeeDee Lamb has a freaking attitude. Not CeeDee Lamb. I think George Pickens has an attitude problem. So I want to see how he reacts to playing with someone to the caliber of CeeDee Lamb. So, but I mean, the talent level of those two, you can't ignore it. So I have them coming in at number 9.
Okay. So number 9 for me, not too far off from you so far on the list, Sam. Got the Seattle Seahawks with that pairing of Smith and Jibba and Cooper Kupp. Like you said, if this was Cooper Kupp being able to stay healthy a few years ago, I'd probably have them a lot higher on the list. He is the one big question mark. But with Cooper Kupp not being asked to be a number 1 wide receiver now, and it just being a complementary piece, I think it could take a lot of pressure off him, hopefully keep him healthier throughout the season. And that's going to be a scary little receiving duo there. Not to mention, honorable mention Elijah Arroyo as the rookie tight end. See what he does his first year.
Oh, what? No, Marquez Valdez-Scantling love?
Yeah, Sam.
Hey, go back to what he did on the Saints last year. Go look at the numbers.
400 yards, get out of here.
And it's like 8 games. That's impressive. Grand Slam, Kyle Schwarber.
So, Sam, what was that about firing everyone earlier?
I said, whoa. Who said anything about players?
Oh, you said everybody. You
can't
said
fire
everybody, including
he said
the
that
fire
everybody,
players.
including the hot dog
workers.
vendors.
He said everybody.
That includes the hot dog vendors.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the people that make the pizza,
they're good people.
Pizza when you go there, yep, them too, Sam. You're firing them. Terrible.
Oh, my. Okay.
So my number 9 is where my things get a little bit creative.
Yes, I was thinking. I couldn't remember your list, but I thought it was right around this point.
So my number 9 is Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice. And Travis Kelce is not considered a wide receiver. He's a tight end, but he is Kansas City's number 1 wide receiver. And he's been their number 1 wide receiver for the last 7-8 years. And when it comes to Rashee Rice, before he tore his ACL last year, he was leading the NFL in receiving yards. Had he not gotten hurt last year, who knows the kind of season Rashee Rice has. So now you give Travis Kelce basically his first bona fide receiver since Tyreek Hill left. Kelce's numbers are going to go up this year. And if Rice is 100% back, he's going to get Patrick Mahomes a better target than he's had in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, Kelce has looked in phenomenal shape going into training camp.
Yeah.
And also, I think another thing we have to take into consideration is what kind of year are we going to get from Xavier Worthy? Because if he continues to develop into that, I'm not trying to say Tyreek Hill, but that speedster that Andy Reid's offense really missed since they got rid of Tyreek, that could be another factor that gives Kelce another big shot for a big year. So, sorry, Clint. Carol, thank you for joining us as always. Have a safe flight to the Philly area, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Take care, Carol.
But no, I like that. I like that number 9, Dustin. I do, because again, regardless of anyone what they say, Travis Kelce is the number 1 pass catcher on the Chiefs. It don't matter how you swing it. And Rashee Rice was. He was off to a great year last year. And of all the ways to get hurt was friendly fire when Mahomes was trying to make a freaking play on a bad interception.
Yep.
So, no, I like that a lot.
Oh, I do like that too. I mean, hopefully, now Kelce had a bit of a down year last year, but hopefully he's able to shake it off. And if he does, and he probably will.
I just think he had a down year because he was the only target.
That's true too. You know, teams didn't really have to focus on anybody except for him.
And he didn't have Pacheco either, so it was pretty much Mahomes and Kelce, and that was it.
And whatever was left,
had nobody else.
And whatever was left of Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
And Tyler, was that shake it off there? Was that a joke or was that just by accident?
Oh, that was by accident.
Okay. You should know where I'm going with that. What's up, Burnsy? Burnsy's in here in the chat with us now. All right. Moving on to number 8. I'm going down to the Windy City. I'm going at number 8, DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. And I could have them a little higher. I love DJ Moore. Always have loved him. I loved him in Carolina. Loved him in Chicago. I love Odunze.
A little high.
What I want to see, I think they could be higher. It's just I have to base. It's hard to base it off of something I haven't seen yet. I think by next year this time I'm going to have this because of Ben Johnson and hopefully a really focused and ready to play this year Caleb Williams. I think this duo is going to be higher next year. It's just, again, I can't base it off. It's like the others. I can't base it off stuff I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But they're both super talented wide receivers. They are, I think they're both going to go, they could easily both eclipse over 1,000 yards this year. And the talent's there. So I have them coming in as my number 8 wide receiver duo this year.
I'm sorry, disappoint everyone. They didn't make my list.
Ooh.
I kind of had them in the 11-12 range.
They were on the out. They were a finalist for those last couple spots, but I couldn't do it. Not yet.
When I heard what Ben Johnson's doing with DJ Moore, it dropped him out of the top 10.
What's he been doing with him?
Trying to do what the Niners did with Debo. I'm in the backfield, taking some of his pass catches away from him.
I don't like that. Well, I'm staying away from him in fantasy this year. Thank you. So my number 8, I have the Dallas Cowboys. So the big question is Dak Prescott. Is he going to be able to be a solid quarterback the whole season? Is he going to choke? Is he going to fold? Is he going to get hurt?
All the above.
All the above is very possible. And Zolt, I'm in the same boat as you. 2,000-yard receivers out of Chicago. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
Hey, it's happened once with Marshall and Jeffrey.
That's a long time ago.
Hey,
that seems like forever ago, man.
Don't you disrespect Alshon Jeffrey.
Was Jay Cutler the quarterback back then? Hold up.
Jay Cutler, the Bears single-season passer.
Jay Cutler, the GOAT.
Good Lord.
But yeah, I mean, CeeDee Lamb.
I changed my list.
You know what you're gonna get out of him, and George Pickens. I feel like George Pickens was very underutilized in Pittsburgh. I also feel like he did have a lot of character issues as well that I'm hoping don't translate over for the Cowboys' sake. But if he can get it together and mature a little bit, I think Cowboys could be looking at 2,000-yard receivers, possibly CeeDee Lamb around like 1,400, 1,500, and Pickens could get to like 1,100 or more.
And I think a lot of the more issues in Dallas, in Pittsburgh, were like how I said Pickens. I've never seen him play with another guy like CeeDee Lamb. I'm not saying that's the thing though. Like a lot of his character came last year was, dude, I'm the only wide receiver here. Why is the football not coming my way more? Like, why are we throwing the ball to frickin' like who was their wide receiver 2 last year?
Brandon Cooks.
Gosh. I feel like he's played for almost every NFL team.
He probably.
All right, you talking to Steelers number 2? Pat Fryermuth.
Oh God.
Basically. Basically.
Well, God knows they weren't throwing it to Najee Harris in the flat. We know that much.
Oh God.
So my number 8 is kind of on the similar wavelength to the Kelsey Rashee Rice, but my number 8 is Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. Amon-Ra St. Brown is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going to get his touches. He's going to get 1,500 yards every year. But Jahmyr Gibbs was the number 2 receiver in Detroit last year. He averages.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
He averages almost 900 yards receiving out of the backfield. That is the second most yards on Detroit. And the thing that I think is going to be the big difference is not having Ben Johnson. I'm curious to see how that offense works in Detroit.
Is that your reasoning for how low they are?
It is, because I don't see them being as explosive this year without Johnson as they have been in the past. And their new offensive coordinator likes to rely more heavily on the running backs, which is why I think Jahmyr Gibbs does get more involved. And you might see less passes going to Jamison Williams. You might see less passes going to Sam Laporta unless it's in the red zone. I think it'll be another 1,500 yard season for St. Brown, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs comes away with about 900.
Okay.
The reason I have Anthony's up there is because we're moving on to number 7. His first 3 in the comments have basically been all of ours, just in different orders.
Mm-hmm.
So, in honor of that, I put his number 7 on the board, and his number 7 did not make my list.
Mine either. I was kind of in the same wavelength as Moore and Odunze.
Well, here's the thing. As of right now, I don't want to talk about training camp practices, okay? I care about the games that are played between the white lines between 2 opponents. I don't care about practices sometimes. I don't know how much I trust the guy throwing the football in Atlanta, nor do I know who's going to be throwing the football in Atlanta. And also, not the biggest Darnell Mooney guy. He's good, but not the biggest Mooney guy.
Yeah.
Did win me my fantasy championship last year, but I'm not a big Mooney guy. So, and just real quickly, Clint said also you can't take yourself out of plays trying to fight the other team's corner. If Pickens shows maturity, he can easily get to 1,000. Exactly. All it is, maturity.
Yeah.
My number 7, coming into one of the most disrespected wide receiver duos in the league. And I have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Now, some people can make the case that I have them a little low. My biggest issue with those 2 is their durability. Godwin's coming off that major leg injury. Mike Evans is basically, he's Keenan Allen, but he somehow plays through more injuries than Keenan Allen.
Don't you ever disrespect Mike Evans like that again.
Not to mention, they do have a lot more wide receiver depth than most of these teams do. I mean, they still have McMillan. They just drafted Ibuka. They're starting to prepare for these 2 to possibly making their exit. And with all that wide receiver depth, I'm sure they're going to try to spend them on some snaps. Not saying they're not going to produce, but the durability gets a little concerning with them at points. But still one of the more established duos in the league. I mean, Mike Evans is going to be a freaking Hall of Famer. when he retires.
Oh, yeah,
and,
easily.
And Chris Godwin, Penn State bias.
So I'm going to follow up with you, Sam. I also had the Buccaneers at number 7. I felt like it was a good spot for them to slot in at. My reasons, though, kind of differ from yours a little bit. I do agree with the Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, but with the status of Godwin to open the year, I'm not sure if he's looking to be ready to start. But I like Emeka Egbuka as the option next to Mike Evans if Godwin isn't 100%, or if he's not the same. So I think either way you cut it, with either of those as your wide receiver 2 pairing next to Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield's going to get him the football.
Yep.
So that's why the only reason they would be higher if it wasn't for Godwin's injury.
And Clint's saying don't disrespect him. Clint, how am I disrespecting him? I'm just pointing out that he's coming off a major leg injury, and durability can be a question with these two. That's all I'm saying. But before I let Dustin go, all I want to say is that I am fully expecting another 4,000-plus yard, 40-touchdown season from Baker Mayfield.
How many interceptions?
Probably around like 12 to 15, like always. Look, I love Baker. I love him. Now he's in Tampa. He's in a better organization that's actually run respectively. Sorry, Cleveland. But still makes some boneheaded mistakes. Still got some Baker Mayfield mistakes in him. But it's okay. I love Baker. He's a dog. I like guys that are just dogs. All right, Dustin, what you got at number 7?
I got CeeDee Lamb and Pickens at 7.
Okay.
Main reason for that is this is the first time that Pickens is going to have a bona fide 1,000-yard receiver next to him. He was pretty much all Pittsburgh had his entire career.
And honestly,
now he had
more legit quarterback. I can't believe I'm saying that about Dak Prescott.
Yeah. And now he's got another guy where CeeDee Lamb saw a lot of 2-man, 3-man coverages last year. CeeDee Lamb can't see 2-man, 3-man coverages this year because you're going to have Pickens on the other side. More of these teams are going to have to play basically man-to-man straight up on both of them. Dak, for as mistake-prone as he is, he can also fling the football.
Yeah.
And he's going to move it around to CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them end up with around 1,100 yards.
Yeah, because we know we're not going to be running the football, so.
So Anthony literally just put that in as his number 6.
I think the rookie running back's been the favorite so far at their camp. Was it Jaden Blue?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yes, and he should be. Miles Sanders and freaking Javonte Williams should not be getting snaps over Jaden Blue.
I don't know who Miles Sanders thought he was walking into Dallas, thinking he was the hottest free agent running back.
And then talking about the Eagles and Saquon Barkley.
Oh, buddy, there's a reason you were number 2 on the depth chart while Saquon was there.
Yeah, but I watch those Penn State teams. Don't worry. So Zolt says, I view Mike Evans as a new Larry Fitzgerald, not fully appreciated until the latter part of his career. I actually really like that comparison.
I do. I mean, the way that Evans is on right now in his career, he's on track to be first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
The only difference is with Mike Evans and Larry Fitzgerald is Larry Fitzgerald at least had Carson Palmer throwing him the football for about 7 or 8 years. Before Baker Mayfield got there, who did Mike Evans have throwing him the football?
Brady for what, 2-3 years?
Brady for 2 years, but before Brady got there, he had so many quarterbacks that wouldn't even cut it as backups anymore, and he was still giving you 1,100.
Including Mr. 30 for 30.
Jameis Winston. Hey,
yeah.
He still got him a 1,000-yard season.
He's had so many bad quarterbacks throughout his career, and he just keeps doing what he does.
And he's got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Coming in at my number 6, I do have them a little higher, and I did go to Detroit, but I did Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Amon-Ra, I'm like Dustin said, he's going to get his yards no matter what. I hope. Now, I do agree with Dustin on the fact that, Ben Johnson loss is a big one for this duo, especially with Jameson Williams, strictly because I hope they find a way to just get the football in his hands, because if we noticed last year with Johnson, he was very creative with these two. They would be doing wide receiver handoffs.
Yep.
I hope some of that can stay in their offense. I don't know how much of it. I still think, though, they're very talented, and I still think they're both one of the top 6 wide receiver duos in the league. I think this year, even with all the changes, I still think they're going to find a way to produce with these two. I think they could be a little more lenient on the run, but I still like them at my number 6. If anything, I probably would have swapped them with Evans and Godwin, maybe. But again, the durability issues with those two is what concerns me.
Yeah,
these two are. So I have Detroit coming in at my number 6.
So, at my number 6, I actually do have the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I do get it, the concerns at quarterback. How's the quarterback play going to look? I don't know. I didn't think it was that great, aside from Kirk Cousins last year. But Drake London still put up almost 1,300 yards, 1,270. Darnell Mooney almost had 1,000 yards. I mean, as far as the duo goes right there, that's pretty damn solid. Not to mention, got to worry about what Ray McLeod's going to do. Almost had 700 yards. That's wide receiver 3. So, I mean, the ball gets moved around. And I think that, with the fact that they have not just a good duo, but a good wide receiver 3 as well in McLeod, it opens the play up a little more for the other two guys.
Surprised Kyle Pitts didn't come up in that conversation at all.
I still feel like Pitts is going to get traded at some point.
Yeah.
I could agree.
I don't see, he doesn't fit in the offense anymore. I never feel like they really ever made him fit in the offense.
Not with the way Ryan wants to do it.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact they had B. John Robinson just run like a madman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my number 6 is where I have Evans and Godwin. I mean, Evans enough said. He rolls out of bed and sprain his ankle, and he's going to get you 1,000 yards and 100 catches every year. I mean, that's literally what he does. And then Chris Godwin, had he not blown his knee out last year, he probably has 1,300 yards. Like, those two have found a quarterback in Baker Mayfield, and those two together are a very underrated duo because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what you come to expect out of, Godwin and Evans.
Tyler, I see Mike's comment. I just checked everything. We seem to be okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. All right. Now we're heading into the top 5. Top 5. I'll kick us off. And at my number 5, I have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Because regardless of what we say, when you put the football in those two's hands, they are nothing but speed-made playmakers. Now, yes, I could have them a little high. The only reason they are only at 5, all they need is their quarterback to stay healthy for more than 6 weeks.
Yep.
If Tua can stay healthy, these are two guys that can easily get 1,000 together. They've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
They are two of the most explosive playmakers in the league. And all Tua has to do is stay healthy, and these two will be fine. So I'm banking on that, and that's why I have that at my number 5. I think we could see a resurgent year from these two, as long as Tua doesn't get knocked out twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's valid.
Who you got, Tyler?
Number 5, I have the new duo in Los Angeles, the Rams. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Now, I would actually have them a lot higher, but I need to see Puka fully back and not miss any games. Like, if we're talking fully healthy Puka from his rookie year, and then Mr. Reliable Devontae Adams over the course of the trash Raiders and whatever the Jets were last year, still at 1,000 yards. I mean, dude, if Matthew Stafford can stay healthy, hopefully that shoulder doesn't keep bothering him. Those two together, I mean, I don't know how defenses are going to stop them. I'm going to be honest, it'll be hard for even the Eagles to play against that.
Yeah.
So, man, trust me, they could not slow down Puka when they played him.
Yeah.
No, Mike, that was me. I cut my camera for a split second. I was all good. I just cut my camera for a second.
But yeah, Puka's health is the only thing between me keeping them at 5 or bumping them up to maybe like number 2.
Yeah, my number 5 is Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson and whoever you throw as Minnesota's number 2.
Pick who you want.
Justin Jefferson's going to give you 15, 16, 1,700 yards. Whatever you get from your number 2 wide receiver is going to automatically put them as a top 3 wide receiver duo in the NFL. And we saw 2 years ago when Jefferson went down, Addison can shoulder the load as a number 1 if you need him to. So both of those guys play, well, Jefferson I have no worries about, but if Jordan Addison can play to the level he's capable of, they potentially have 2 1,500-yard receivers in that room. Because people fail to realize that Jordan Addison won the Blitnikoff Award twice in college. Once at USC and once at the University of Pittsburgh when Kenny Pickett was his quarterback. Not a school that is known for having wide receivers, besides Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Okay. Heading into my number 4, I am right there with Tyler. I just have them one spot lower. And that is I have Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Another wide receiver duo, which, I said earlier on in the show, I had a few newer ones lower because they never played together. Yes, I am aware that Puka and Devontae Adams have both been wide receiver ones in this league, and they've never played together. But the talent is just too great to ignore. Mm-hmm. These are two of the best, easily, take your poison. They're two of the best 8 wide receivers in football. And I'm trying to be generous there because I can't think of many that's better than both of them. But the fact that Matthew Stafford, man, talk about a turnaround. He leaves Detroit. He's having the best run of his career, and Detroit's having the best run of their franchise since he left. Make that make sense. But
it worked out for both teams. You don't see it happen a lot.
No. Putting these two with Matthew Stafford and a head coach like Sean McVay, I'm sure they're going to find a way to make it work. They don't really have much outside of those two, so the football is going to be going to them two a lot.
Yep.
They still have some decent depth around them. Like, I think, isn't Tutu Atwell still there, Tyler? Your favorite?
I don't think he is, actually. I think he's gone to another team.
I'm on it.
I thought he went to the AFC.
No, he's still with the Rams.
He is actually still with. Wow, man.
Yeah, he's still collecting a check in LA.
Oh, so great.
But still, I have them at my number 4. The talent's too good to ignore.
All right. So my number 4, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, Dustin nailed it, basically. I mean, any second receiver you want to pair next to Justin Jefferson, they're going to be one of the top duos in the league. Addison is a hell of a receiver as well. Could easily be a number 1 wide receiver if his teammate's not Justin Jefferson.
He would be if his teammate's not.
He would be, exactly. And then, just throwing the aspect of TJ Hawkinson in there. And even Jalen Naylor, been a solid number 3 for him. I mean, you really can't find much better of a wide receiver duo.
Yeah.
My number 4 is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So
okay.
my top 4, I could have been gone either way. The only reason why I penalized those two, and there's nothing negative about it, is because Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts run the ball so much.
They do.
They don't. Brown and Smith don't get the touches that Jefferson gets. They don't get the touches that some of the other top receivers are going to get because the Eagles are such a run-heavy offense. It's not a knock against them. It's just the way their system is. That's the only reason why I have these two at number 4 as opposed to possibly higher.
No, I definitely agree.
And honestly, like, now I will, spoiler alert, I have them a slightly bit higher than you, but you could also even make the case. Now, they weren't bad last year, but they were both coming off their worst years together in Philly. And it resulted in a Super Bowl. Like, they're not, like, they were both banged up last year. Committee missed time early. AJ was dinged up early, so neither of them had their best year statistically last year. Even just like Dustin said, they did run the football more last year. They were kind of bottom in the league in terms of passing numbers, but still, it's not a knock. It's just how the Eagles are set up.
It's just the prospect of them together as a duo. That is, it's scary for opposing teams to go up against because the threat's always there.
Yeah, because then you see the game like in Pittsburgh where the team was being criticized for weeks about how bad their passing offense were, and then AJ and Devontae went completely bananas.
Yep.
But all right, so what are we at? We're heading into the top 3 now.
Yep, top 3.
Well, I don't even have to say anything for my top number 3. You and Dustin kind of covered it already. I have the Vikings. Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the football, depending on how you want to look at it. Some people have Jetta, some people have Chase. I choose not to vote on either or because they're both monsters. But Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are easily the number 3 duo here. Addison, like we said, could be a wide receiver 1 on another team if Jefferson wasn't there. If it's not Jefferson killing you, it's going to be Addison or Hockenson or whatever. But I'll take the Vikings at number 3. Only reason I have them at 3, I'm still got to see how McCarthy looks on the field.
The only thing I will say about that is Jefferson will make anybody look good. You've seen him
I agree.
You've seen him do it with Nick Mullins, and you've seen him do it with Josh Dobbs. If you put the ball anywhere close to his hands, he's going to catch it.
Nick freaking Mullins. Oh, my God.
Nick Mullins, another 49er legend there.
It is a home run derby in Philly tonight.
Oh, man. You guys get the special baseballs out?
Harper's got 1. Sosa just hit 1. Schwarber has 2. Schwarber has 6 RBIs tonight. Bader has 1. And real quick, Burns, you said Rams have 2 first-round picks in the season. That'll be good. Yeah, Stafford. I'm sure Burns and Stafford will be fine. Oh, there's a bunch of guys nicked up in camp already. Stafford's banged up. AJ Brown's missing a couple practices. Welcome back. We're already tracking injury reports. Welcome back. Tracking the injury report.
So my number 3, surprise, surprise, I have the Philadelphia Eagles landing in. Now, the reason that I put them there was a couple, actually. 1, new offensive coordinator. I still feel like this team is going to be run dominant, pass the ball when needed, but still just the aspect of how talented A.J. Brown is, how talented Devontae Smith is, how different their games are, and how they complement each other in different areas. And Jalen Hurts' ability to get them the ball, I mean, to me, I think number 3 is a perfect spot for him. Not to mention Dallas Goedert, too. Can't forget about him.
My number 3 is Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And I'm basing this more so not off the numbers they put up last year, but when 2 is healthy, we know what both of them are going to be.
Yeah. And that's really why their numbers weren't good last year.
Yeah,
it was because Tua missed so much time.
I can't penalize them for that because that's not their problem. That is somebody who refuses to wear a Guardian cap when he should be the only player in the league required to wear one. But when 2 is on the field, you know what you're going to get from Jalen Waddle, and you know what you're going to get from Tyreek Hill. And that potential alone, you have to put him at least in the top 3, top 4, because when 2 has played more than, 14 games, Hill had 1,800 yards and Waddle had 1,500 yards.
Yeah. Now, the only big question mark is we saw how much time he missed last year. Is it going to translate over into this year? I unfortunately think it might.
For Hill?
For not Hill, for Tua.
I don't think it will until later in the year. I think they'll get 12 good games out of Tua this year, and if you're getting 12 good games out of Tua, chances are both Hill and Waddle have over 1,000 yards at that point anyways.
Yeah. That's all it'll take.
Well, while you guys were just talking, Tyler, we actually have a small bit of breaking Eagles news.
Breaking Eagles news.
The Eagles and Raiders have agreed to a trade. The Raiders are sending cornerback Jacorian Bennett to Philly in exchange for defensive tackle Thomas Booker.
Who?
Bennett is a 24-year-old former fourth-round pick out of the Raiders out of Maryland in 2023. In his rookie year, he appeared in 14 games, including 4 starts, and had 32 total tackles, no interceptions. And then last year, he appeared in 10 games with 7 games started and had 26 total tackles. So, you just told me what Vic Fangio thinks about Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo. You just told me right there what Vic Fangio thinks about his number 2 quarterback.
The question is, do you think this is let me bring in some more depth behind them, or let me bring in a guy to possibly take their job before the season starts?
All I'm saying that I think we're going to have some some very interesting stuff going on for that cornerback 2 spot coming up over the next couple of weeks. I'm surprised it happened for Thomas Booker. Thomas Booker was someone I thought would have a decent shot at some rotational minutes as a defensive tackle this year. So
I guess they like how much depth that they gathered.
Well, as of right now, Ajomo's looked amazing, they said. Davis is in great shape, and they got Ty Robinson, so I guess they really like what they've seen out of those 4 to where Thomas Booker was expendable. Very interesting. And I mean, you get a guy in Bennett who has started 7 games in his career. He's only 24, he's still young.
Yeah.
Put him in that Fangio system. We'll see what happens. But all right, coming in at my number 2, shocker, I have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Regardless of the down year that they each had, they both still had very productive seasons. Both performed well in the Super Bowl. Both reached the end zone. And the fact that they were still be able to put up the numbers they did last year with suffering some injuries early on and missing time and having one of the worst passing offenses ranked-wise in the league, and when this team still brought in Saquon Barkley, who had one of the all-time greatest running back seasons we've seen in the modern day, for them both to still put up those type of numbers and win a Super Bowl, I can't penalize you more than being top 2 after winning a Super Bowl with that kind of stuff happening. So that's my number 2. Mike, just real quick, Mike, so you know, we're not going offline. We're cutting our cameras for a minute. That's all we're doing. We're not offline. We're just cutting our cameras.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's who I have at number 2.
All right. So my number 2, I got a team that you guys dropped a little lower down. Got the Detroit Lions. Now, I get it. No Ben Johnson. Shaking up things coaching-wise a little bit. But I still look at the prospect of Jared Goff, who's going to be very good for you until it gets to the postseason. Then he's going to choke.
Oh, boy.
You still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the possibly top 5 wide receivers in the league.
In my opinion, the number 1 route runner.
Definitely number 1 route runner. Yeah. Keenan Allen got old. He lost that title. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, your big playmaker. I mean, 1,000 yards off of 58 receptions. Compare that to Amon-Ra getting 1,263 yards off of 115 receptions. I mean, he's just your big play guy. I think he's still going to make those big plays. Goff can still get him the football. And then you have that lethal threat out of the backfield of Jahmyr Gibbs. He'll kill you standing up, running the ball out the backfield. He'll kill you running a flat out the backfield. You name it, he'll do it. Oh, did I forget somebody? Sam Laporta. 700 yards as a tight end. He's one of the probably top 3 tight end in the league. I'd put him behind Kittle and Kelsey.
Brock Bowers. Trey McBride.
Excuse me.
Trey McBride.
Oh, that's tough now.
Trey McBride and Arizona almost got on my top 10 list because of Trey McBride.
I won my fantasy because I was able to flex Trey McBride in my championship. Literally won me my whole damn thing because he went crazy in the second half of the year.
All right. Now, Brock Bowers can keep up being a monster consistently, which he will. He's going to.
I'm about to say, Bud, the guy had Desmond Ridder and Gardner Minshew throwing in the football last year. Now he's the guy, at least a capable quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tyler. I'll say that top 10 list is going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting.
Anthony said, "Don't forget about David Montgomery."
And like my biggest reason why dropping the Lions as low as it was isn't because they don't have Ben Johnson. It's because they don't have Antoine Randall L, who was their wide receiver coach the last 4 years, who followed Ben Johnson to Chicago. I think that's going to have more of a bigger impact on the success the wide receivers have as opposed to the new OC.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then my number 2 is Devontae and Puka.
What the heck? Are you crazy?
Devontae is, in my opinion, he's still a top 5 wide receiver. He's one of the best route runners. You know what he's going to give you year in and year out. And if you give the guy a great quarterback, not even a great quarterback, a good quarterback, you know the production you're going to get. Matthew Stafford is going to be in the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Devontae Adams has had a lot of success with Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So I have no worries about him as long as he stays healthy, which for most of his career he has. Puka Nacua wasn't healthy last year, but Puka Nacua was also a dog a couple of years ago when he won the Triple Crown for wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when he had Cooper Kupp paired with him. As long as Puka stays healthy. Those two alone, I'm going to call it now. Matthew Stafford has the best season he's had as a quarterback in his NFL career this season with those two catching passes.
Yeah. And I might even say the Rams might be looking at like probably the first, second, or third seed as far as records go.
I do have the Rams as the number 2 seed in the NFC this year. Just because their defense last year and how much their defense improved from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, that defense is only going to get better. And now
that defensive line is going to be killer.
Well, the front seven, because Jared Verse is technically a linebacker that plays the edge. So, like, that front seven of the Rams is going to be a nightmare for almost any team out there. And now you give Matthew Stafford basically a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Devontae Adams, because you look at last year, the Rams are what, 9-8, 10-7 last year?
Something like that.
People fail to realize that when Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were on the field at the same time, the Rams were 8-1.
Yeah.
When they had actually 2 healthy wide receivers, the Rams were as good as anybody in the NFC. So if Puka and Devontae stay healthy, they're going to be as good as anybody in the NFC.
And the numbers Puka put up last year with missing a decent amount of games. Like, if he played the whole season last year, he's probably getting close to his rookie year numbers.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
They are – I didn't rank them my highest, but I think those two have the scariest potential of a wide receiver duo. See you
later, Mike. Thanks for tuning in tonight, brother. All right, and I don't think really this comes to much surprise. At number 1, I have the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow, they didn't even make my list.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, where do you start, Sam?
Jamar Chase. That's it.
That's it, period.
Jamar Chase. I personally, that's the reason they're my number one. Personally, I have two quote-unquote wide receiver twos I think are better than T. Higgins. Don't get me wrong. They will both put up their...
I almost dropped them to number 4.
Don't get me wrong. They're going to both put up their numbers because the Bengals haven't had a run game in about 4 years. Joe Burrow's going to always want to put up his numbers, so they're going to throw the football a ton. So they're both going to produce. But as wide receiver talent, I will say this right now. Jamar Chase, again, who do you want number one, Jettas or him? You can argue it all day. I'm not doing it. Put one and I'll agree with you. T. Higgins, to me, I don't think he is a better... If T. Higgins goes to a team, I don't think he's a wide receiver one.
No.
The two guys I have over him, Jordan Addison, and I still think Devontae Smith is better than him. Devontae Smith is a 10 times better route runner than T. Higgins is.
And that's why I would put Jefferson ahead of Jamar Chase as the best receiver in the NFL, is because Jefferson's a better route runner than Chase. Chase is more Chase is more of a stretch the field, like go get it receiver, versus Jefferson knows, they're playing two safeties over the top. I'll just run little 8-10 yard out routes and turn those into 25-30.
Yeah.
Anthony, I saw that. I saw him talking about that. It's so hilarious.
Good grief.
The only reason why I was going to penalize the Bengals, or not the Bengals, but Chase and Higgins to a point was having Joe Burrow as their quarterback does help. Because,
without a doubt.
Because of what you said. And it's not just the run game. It's because their defense is so pathetically bad that Cincinnati has no choice but to throw the football. They don't have a choice. So you give Cincinnati a good defense like the year they went to the Super Bowl. Do Chase and Higgins put up the same type of numbers? Knowing that they have a defense, knowing that they have a running game when they had Joe Mixon that can actually slow the game down a little bit, take time off the clock, kind of minimize the possessions the Bengals have. I was very close to dropping the Bengals down because I'm not going to take anything away from Higgins and Chase. It's just more so when you know that your quarterback is forced to pass the football, what kind of numbers do you think you're going to put up?
Yeah.
You better be putting up 1,500 yards and 15, 20 touchdowns because your quarterback has no choice but to fling it 60 times a game.
Clint,
I agree with you.
Clint, I need you to take a second, breathe in, breathe out. Rethink what you just said. Juju Smith-Schuster had one good year.
Until AB went crazy.
Then AB went crazy. And Juju's never eclipsed 1,000 yards in his career again.
T. Higgins reminds me of Greg Jennings in Green Bay.
Right.
Where Jennings was the number one by default because you had Jordy Nelson and James Jones, who were both very good number twos.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Jennings was also a number two, but he was the best number two out of that group, so he was the number one by default.
Yeah. I could see it like that.
But yeah. T. Higgins already surpassed Juju in his career.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, look, I didn't say I hate T. Higgins. I'm not as high on T. Higgins as everybody else is, but I mean, just compare him to Juju. Oh boy, we've hit some.
For an offense where they pass the ball enough to where Jamar Chase can have 1,700 yards, I would hope T. Higgins is able to get almost 1,000.
Good Lord, Juju Smith-Schuster. I've seen and heard it all.
Hey, and I'm sorry, I'm taking Juju Smith-Schuster over T. Higgins in the playoffs. Because at least Juju Smith-Schuster can come down with big catches in big games.
Okay, now hold on a second. You just came on there and want to penalize them for their quarterback, but you're forgetting who his quarterback is. Hold on now.
He had big catches when he made the playoffs with the Steelers, who didn't have a quarterback.
Was Ben not there still?
No, it was the first year that Ben Roethlisberger left. Juju was in the playoffs. And he came around with several. That was when Mason Rudolph started a playoff game and won the playoff game. Juju Smith-Schuster had like 7 catches for $133 and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, man.
All right, I retract my statement. I'll retract my statement.
The only playoff game that Mason Rudolph won, that was like one of Juju's best playoff games. Because who was the number one wide receiver back then? Deontay Johnson was the Steelers' number one that year.
And now he's on the Browns.
Well, speaking of the Browns, they added their sixth quarterback to the roster tonight.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Browns fans.
Whoa. Anthony. This is actually a good segue because I want to why we have Dustin on with us. I want to talk about this. What are you disappointed about the Reds for? The Reds are playing good baseball right now. Why are you disappointed? They're actually playing some decent baseball lately. Good starting pitching. Young players. There's no disappointment there. Just unfortunately.
Terry Francona?
Unfortunately, you just play in a division with the Cubs and the Brewers.
So my power rankings from baseball the other day with the Brewers being number one doesn't look too bad now, does it?
Nope. Because they're just still dominating the whole Central.
They're dominating more than the Central. They went into the Washington Nationals this week, and granted, the Washington Nationals are a freaking train wreck. They still scored 38 runs and pounded out 56 hits in 3 games.
What?
That's impressive. Bernsey, why are you so down on the Reds right now, man?
Because they're losing to the Cubs right now, 2-1. That's why he's down on them right now.
Yeah, but the Cubs are still a good team, though. Like, I understand losing to, like, bad teams, but come on now. But all right, so since we've kind of wrapped up our football talk, Dustin, before we get off of here tonight, I figure why I had you on here, you and I could just run through a little bit of the trade deadline that occurred last week. Give me some of your thoughts, some of your teams you thought got better, maybe some teams that you thought didn't do so well.
I'll just start with my team. Am I allowed to curse or no?
Feel free. I could care less.
My team fucking shit the bed. We needed a starting pitcher. We needed 2 starters. And we added Michael Soroka, which, okay, that's fine if that's going to be your number 5. But
Yeah.
Michael Soroka threw 2 innings tonight and then left with a shoulder injury. So that worked out great. Worked out wonderful. We needed to get a third baseman like, Eugenio Suarez, and the package that the Mariners gave the Diamondbacks was not a great package.
No, it wasn't.
Easily given up more prospects to get him, but no, we won't get him, and we'll take Willie Castro instead. No disrespect to Willie Castro because he's a good player, but he's not a Eugenio Suarez.
It's not moving the needle.
No. And Andrew Kittredge, I like that pickup. Andrew Kittredge is a good middle reliever because we got rid of Ryan Presley in the process. And then we got Taylor Rogers, who, okay, he's a lefty.
Yeah.
Well, you needed another starter because Justin Steele's been out all year with the elbow surgery. Jamison Tyone is on the IL right now with a hamstring injury. And you got a guy in Michael Soroka who pitched 2 innings and now is hurt.
And it's not like he hasn't had that injury history for a while.
Right?
Clint did say at least your team isn't gambling on games.
No, that's just the Guardians.
Well, unfortunately, my team has actually I think they had a decent trade deadline. I mean, you get one of the best closers in Duran, and I just went to the game last night. Absolute flamethrower. It's good to see the Phillies finally have a back-end reliever that I can trust in the 9th inning. Harrison Bader got his first big hit as a Philly tonight with a nice 3-run shot against the Orioles. And even though with the Orioles pitching this year, not hard to do.
Right.
I think what really hurt this deadline, we knew it was going to be a heavy back-end reliever deadline, but some injuries late and suspensions hurt that. I mean, 2 guys that were going to definitely get moved last week was going to be Bautista from the Orioles, which he ended up getting hurt, and Clase, and he ended up being suspended. So that made the packages for Duran and Mason Miller. They were going to get more for that. And the fact that the Phillies got away with getting Duran for only Mick Abel, who I knew was expendable. They still have Painter. They still have Gage Wood, who they just drafted this year, who I am so high on. They had the depth in their organization to move a guy like Abel, who was probably untradeable last year. But they got him up here this year. He made some starts, showed some little bit of friggin' hope. And now he's a Twin. I mean, yes, they had to give up Eduardo Tate. He's a 19-year-old catcher. How long am I going to have to wait for a 19-year-old catcher? At least 3-4 years down the road? I ain't got time for that.
You'll never have to wait for him because he won't be there. He'll be traded.
Exactly. And, like, I agree with you on the Cubs because, like, we don't know what happens after this year with Kyle Tucker.
Oh, I know. I know what happens after this year. His production that he's showing this year is not going to get him $500, $600 million.
I do agree. I
what
don't
he's
think
showing right now is that he benefited from being in the middle of that Houston Astros lineup, hitting in front of Yordan Alvarez and hitting behind Jose Altuve, and he benefited from being in Houston, where right field is 326 feet down the line with a 5-foot fence, and left field is 312 feet. You're playing in Wrigley Field, which has the longest foul poles in Major League Baseball. 353 down the right field line, 355 down left field line. And when the wind blows in, which it does more often than not, you better hope that you're hitting a ball 450 feet because that 450-foot ball might go 371 and land in the first row.
Yeah. I mean, if we're looking at it, I mean, so far, 109 games, 18 homers, 61 RBIs, 276 batting average, 21 doubles. This is crazy. 67 strikeouts to 67 walks. You don't see that much in...
No, but the month of, well, not even the month of July, going back to, I think, June 23rd, Kyle Tucker is hitting a 221 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
Yeah, definitely not the impact that I think Cubs fans were expecting. Not, like I said, it's not that it hasn't been like, he's not god-awful. It's just, you're not getting the Kyle Tucker that was hitting 290 in Houston with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Now,
you're not playing in Houston anymore.
Exactly.
Look at Nolan Arenado's a prime example when he went to St. Louis. Everyone thought, he's going from Colorado to St. Louis. He's going to be hitting 330 with 40, 45 home runs and 130 RBIs a year. You're not playing in Colorado anymore. You actually have to hit the ball a little bit harder to get the ball to leave in St. Louis.
Yeah, and now he still had a couple decent years in St. Louis
Colorado,
this year. But, Colorado, hold on.
He had like 3 straight years of 40-plus and 120. 3 straight years of hitting like 330.
Well, because my co-host to my left here is not a baseball guy, but I think he can respect this. Listen to this stretch from Nolan Arenado from 2015 to 2019. 42 home runs and 130 RBIs. Next year, 41 home runs, 133 RBIs. Next year, 37 home runs, 130 RBIs. The next year, 38 home runs, 110 RBIs. The next year, 41 homers, 118 RBIs. And he hit 280 or higher in every one of those years. But, like Dustin said, the altitude in Colorado is a lot easier to hit a baseball in.
Yep.
So, like I said, he had a couple decent years in St. Louis, but he wasn't Nolan Arenado to what we were used to.
I'm at the point now as a Cubs fan, and I might be in the minority at this. It's time that when we get to free agency and when we get to the trade deadline, it's time that the GM and the president of baseball operations stop taking into account what these numbers say on the back of the baseball card. And they need to start. We need to start taking into account where they're playing 81 feet. Like Yankee Stadium is a prime example, and I'll use Cody Bellinger for an example because he was with the Cubs last year. If Cody Bellinger is out in Yankee Stadium hitting 35, 40 home runs a year with the Yankees, but 27 of his 35 home runs come at Yankee Stadium because it's 314 down the line, do you think you're going to get that same production at Wrigley Field knowing that the foul poles are about 45 feet further?
No.
Why give a guy like Kyle Tucker's the example? Why give this guy 10 years, 500, 600 million when his production right now is going to get him $350 million from somebody. He's not getting 500 from anybody right now, unless he just goes on a massive heater the rest of the way. But his production right now, even as a Cubs fan, I'm not giving Kyle Tucker $350 million. I can get 18 home runs and 50 RBIs out of a $20 million player. which is what I typically get out of Ian Happ, because Ian Happ right now has got 16 home runs and 53 RBIs, and he's making $20 million.
Yeah.
PCA is an MVP frontrunner right now, making $426,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not been the bat that the Cubs thought. I thought he was the perfect, because like before that, they were signing good players. Like they had Dansby. I think Dansby's had a pretty solid year. Dansby's been pretty good for them. They're very good up the middle with him and Nico, PCA. And you got to be strong up the middle in the game of baseball. You have to have a good catcher, strong middle infielders, and a good center fielder. If you're strong up the middle, you're going to be just fine. Matt Bush at first base has been really good for them, in my opinion. I think he's had a pretty solid year. But it felt like just like after all the years of just signing good players, and we lost Dustin for a second, so hopefully he'll come back. It came to the fact to where like they were just that one player away, and Kyle Tucker is supposed to be that guy, but the offensive production, like Dustin said, it's not matching what they were thinking they were getting. Like he said, go look at Houston. That ballpark's a bandbox. It's easy to hit. You can literally just stand there, put your glove up, and you can rob a home run in right field. It's that sort of a fence. It's almost like Boston. And for that team, for him to have that production in that lineup with an Altuve, with a Yordan Alvarez, I'm not surprised whatsoever. So, now, real quickly, to catch up on some of these comments, real quickly, Burnsy brings up a trade that I actually want to talk about real quick, about the Texas Rangers getting Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks. Burnsy, I'm glad you brought this up, and I think your other comment here, let me see. Honestly, Burnsy, to answer this question, the Rangers' rotation this year has been very top-heavy. Nate Eovaldi and Jake DeGrom have given them great innings. They've actually even had some decent innings out of Patrick Corbin, who's had probably one of the worst 5-year stretches in baseball since winning the World Series. So, thanks, Tyler. So, for the Rangers to get Merrill Kelly, I think 100% helps them. It moves Corbin down to the 4th spot. Now, when it comes to the number 5, I think Rocker goes right to the pen. I think Leiter probably keeps his job. It depends on who's throwing better. But the Rangers are still in the thick of things in the wild card, so getting a guy like Merrill Kelly to put him behind DeGrom and Eovaldi helped them a lot. And Clint had a question about Coors Field for me and Dustin. Wasn't Troy Tulowitzki another guy who benefited from Colorado? Yes.
Not necessarily, actually.
Really?
If you look at Troy Tulowitzki's career with the Rockies, he had a higher batting average at Coors Field, which isn't a surprise, but he had better power numbers away from Coors Field.
Interesting.
Because he's a line drive hitter. And if you look at Coors Field, it's 347 down the left field line. It is, I think, 334 down the right field line, but then you have that 16-foot high wall in right field. So if you hit a screaming line drive, you're not going to hit it over that wall anyways. But then you look at the power alleys, 390 and 390, and then center field is 415. As a line drive hitter, that's not going to benefit you too much at Coors Field.
Fair point. So, Dustin, since we've kind of ranted on both our teams real quick, before we get out of here, what are some other teams that kind of stood out to you at last Thursday's deadline?
I mean, if you're going to look at the deadline, it all starts and stops with what the San Diego Padres did. Because the San Diego Padres felt like, oh, we can give up half of our farm system, but we'll get all these guys, in place of it. And if I'm the National League right now, Brewers aside, Dodgers aside, and everybody aside right now, I'm scared shitless of the Padres because they have the best bullpen in baseball prior to the deadline. They just added Mason Miller to the best bullpen in baseball.
And currently, so far, since being in San Diego, he is their setup man.
Yeah, because right now, your 6th inning guy is Jeremiah Estrada, who throws 98 to 100 consistently, has an ERA of like a 1.5, 1.4. He's your 6th inning guy. Your 7th inning guy is Anthony Bass, throws about 96, 97. His ERA is in the low 2s. Mason Miller is Mason Miller. He's your 8th inning guy. He throws, 103, 104? And then you got Robert Suarez as your closer, throwing 101 and 102 with an ERA in the 1.7s. If they have the lead after the 5th inning, the game is essentially over. It is literally an exact replica and an exact recreation of what the Kansas City Royals bullpen looked like when they won the 2015 World Series. Where
and that is probably...
They had the lead after 5 innings. It was over.
And that Royals team is probably one of my favorite former World Series winners over the past decade because I love that team pitching.
Did you see the stat they showed with that team actually a couple days ago after the Padres got Mason Miller?
No, what was the stat?
So the 2015 World Series, I believe, it went 7 games, but I believe there was 68 total innings played because of the extra inning games that were in there. Of the 68 innings, the bullpen threw 38 innings. The starters threw 30 innings. The Royals bullpen in 38 innings gave up 2 earned runs, walked 6, and struck out 79.
Jesus.
Like, the game was over after the 5th inning if the Royals had the lead.
My God. But no, I agree with you. I think the Padres bullpen, I agree with you. They get to like the 5th, 6th inning, and people are saying like, oh, their rotation is a little weak. It's not going to matter.
They don't need to go 5 innings anymore.
No, they don't. They literally can get you through 4, and they can just go to the bullpen.
Yep.
And so, another team that I'm a little surprised by, but I can't say nothing bad about them, it's the Red Sox. People are mad at them, but they keep winning.
I think it helps that the Yankees are losing too, though. But
well, that's because Aaron Boone's the Yankees manager.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell this to Yankee fans right now. You will never be the Yankees again until you fire Aaron Boone. I have never seen a team field as bad as them, run the bases as poorly as them, and can't hit with men on base as poorly in them. And I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan. I have the biggest boomer bust lineup ever. We either score 13 runs like we did tonight. Now, tomorrow we're going to lose 1-0. And we're going to have 2 infield singles the whole game. I'm just warning you now. But I have never seen a team so fundamentally bad than the New York Yankees. And I thought the Yankees actually had a good deadline. I like the fact that they went and got Caballero, the shortstop from the Rays, because I'm sorry, Anthony Volpe cannot field. And Yankee fans need to start reaching reality when it comes to Anthony Volpe. I love their bullpen additions. I love getting David Bednar and Camilo Duvall. I don't like the fact that Bednar, they used him in the 8th inning. Duvall's already lost the closer job before in San Francisco. He's probably better suited being the setup man. Or, maybe you can make this guy, Devin Williams, the 8th inning guy, since he's better at that than he was as a closer. See, this is the one thing I don't like about baseball. Outside, like, the Padres may be the exception. I'm not always a fan of getting 2 closers. Because not everybody can make that switch. You saw the Phillies do this 3 years ago with Craig Kimbrell. Look at the NLCS. Why was Craig Kimbrell pitching the 7th inning in the NLCS? He has been a closer his entire career. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys cannot make that transition. Mason Miller looks like he's okay. I would hope you are. You throw 106. But some of these guys have to pitch the 9th inning. So as cool as Duvall and Bednar are together, they may have been better off just, honestly, if they were calling the Pirates, they should have just got Bednar and Denise Santana, who was Bednar's setup man in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Because he knows, and guess what? Since Bednar's been traded, Santana's blown 2 saves in Pittsburgh. So why not just trade for the setup man closer combination instead of getting 2 guys that are closers? Not all these guys can make that transition to being a setup man. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a different animal.
Yeah.
Getting 3 outs.
Well, that's the thing that I'm curious to see. That's the thing that I'm curious to see with the Mets too, is how Ryan Helsley is going to adapt from going to the closer in St. Louis to now the setup man to Edwin Diaz.
Yeah. Now let me see. Let me look at their game tonight so far. Okay, Helsley didn't pitch tonight. I think he pitched the last 2 nights, and I think he did pretty well actually. But Diaz is still the closer. I like their acquisitions too. I like them getting Tyler Rogers, who's basically Chad Bradford 2.0. I love them getting Gregory Soto because I hate Gregory Soto. Of course, he was a former Philly, so cool for them. Hopefully the Phillies can rattle his cage a little bit when they come here. But I like what the Rangers did. I feel like it's injustice that we don't bring up the Mariners, who just completely fixed their lineup. Because let's look at last year, Dustin. What hurt the Mariners back last September? That starting rotation was getting you the innings. But that lineup went cold, and it went cold fast.
Yeah.
And even this year, Raleigh.
The Mariners almost went 3 for 3 with the Diamondbacks because they traded for Josh Naylor, and then 3 days later they got Eugenio Suarez, and there was a deal on the table for the Mariners to get Zach Gallen. It just didn't go through because they could not agree on the prospects.
Oh my God!
So they almost went to the Diamondbacks 3 different times.
My God, Zach Gallen to that rotation. My God.
He would have been their number 5.
Yeah, because their other 4 are that good. And that's the thing. That rotation gave them everything last year, but down the stretch, the bats went cold. And even this year, Cal Raleigh's been amazing. Randy Rosarina and Julio Rodriguez have just been okay at best to me.
Yeah,
I think they're both barely hitting 250. So now you go get Suarez, who was already in Seattle once, and Josh Naylor, who's actually having a career year in terms of batting average. He's hitting like 288. So the Mariners, if I'm the Astros, I'll be watching out because the Mariners are making a push at this thing.
For shits and giggles, I just looked up one of the Royals games from that 2015 World Series.
Uh-huh.
So Game 6, Edison Volquez was the starter.
Oh my God, there's a name.
He went 5 innings, gave up 1 run in 5 innings, walked 3, and struck out 4. The Royals bullpen came into the game in the 6th inning, and for the next 4 innings gave up no runs, no hits, no runs, and struck out 11 out of a possible 12.
Jesus. That's unbelievable. Real quickly, Burns, he just said to me, Boone is not a real manager. He's a figurehead to fill a spot so the general manager can run the team. Yeah, Burnsy, and Brian Cashman doesn't run the team well either.
And I hate saying this because I am not a Yankee fan by any means, and I'm not going to ever really side with the Yankees at all. But losing Garrett Cole, I think, hurt that team a lot more than people realized.
Oh, without a doubt.
They came into that season expecting Garrett Cole, Max Fried, and Carlos Rodon to be like arguably one of the top 3 pitching staffs in the American League, and if healthy, they are going to be one of the top 3 pitching staffs in the American League. But then you had Rodon missed, I think, 7 or 8 starts. Garrett Cole's not only missing this year, but he's going to miss a large chunk of next year. Max Fried's pitched as good as advertised, but when 60% of your starting rotation is either hurt or missing significant time, that's going to throw a lot of things in flux. And then Aaron Judge is hurt right now. He's the engine that makes that offense go. And when it comes to that bullpen with the acquisitions, I get that David Bednar might be better suited for the 9th inning, but David Bednar was also the setup man in Pittsburgh last year. He was also the setup man in Pittsburgh to start the year this year because he lost the closer job in 2024 based on how poorly he pitched. So Bednar has performed in the setup role before, which is why they've chose to use him in the setup role with New York. And then Camilo Doval, he's lost the closer job before, yes, but he's also been a setup man in San Francisco before as well. So those 2 guys have that versatility where they can be a closer if needed, but they can also be a setup man if needed versus Devin Williams. I mean, whatever the Brewers knew about Devin Williams, they fleeced the Yankees on it.
No, it's just called the Brewers don't pay many players, so they're like, oh, might as well get rid of them.
No, because look at everything though. Aaron Savali was complete garbage with the Brewers. They gave him away for Andrew Vaughn, who was doing absolutely nothing with the White Sox. He gets to the damn Brewers and he's hitting like Aaron Judge.
It's just all about talent evaluating with these teams. Teams like the Brewers who don't spend a lot of money. And I actually really I like the Shelby Miller acquisition for them. When he gets back into that bullpen, he's going to probably be the setup man to McGill. That's another good back end.
Do you realize who else the Brewers got that everyone forgets they got?
Who was it? I know I'm missing them.
Jordan Montgomery, who's recovering from Tommy John, who's going to automatically get slotted as their number 4 starter next year when he's healthy.
And watch, he'll have like a Jose Quintana season like he's having now.
He's essentially going to replace Jose Quintana next year because Quintana's going to hit the market and try to get one more massive deal because of how he's performed this year, which he'll get he's not going to get a multi-year deal, but he'll probably get like a 1-year, $12 or $13 million contract because of how he's pitched this year. So next year, the Brewers rotation is going to be Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff, Jacob Mezarowski, Jordan Montgomery, and then one of the 4 Brewer rookies, either Quinn Priester, Chad Patrick, Logan Henderson, or the other guy that they have in AAA right now that would be the starter if he was not hurt.
Yeah, and the Brewers are still going to be topped in the Central because they're the Brewers.
Yep.
They will find a way. Last 2 little things I just want to bring up about the deadline is I do love the Reds' acquisition of Ke'Bryan Hayes. For a team that has a really good starting rotation right now, the Reds have gotten some good starting pitching lately. They got a bunch of young players, and Hayes is under contract relatively cheap for the next 4 years, and he's a third baseman who can flat out pick it over at the hot corner. So for a team that has strong starting pitching, you need guys that can field, and I like that addition. And then my last one is I'm a little surprised at the Tigers. I thought they would have been a little more aggressive, but people that are knocking their acquisitions, first of all, I went to the game Phillies and Tigers last night, and Charlie Morton looked like he was about 35 years old, not 41.
Well, it's playoff Charlie Morton time now, so.
Essentially. What people don't understand, what him and Chris Paddock will do, because, yes, I understand. I think Kyle Finnegan and Paul Sewald helped them a little. Not sure how much, but here's the thing that people need to understand. The Tigers' rotation, Jackson Jobe is out for the year. Reese Olson has not been healthy all year. What Paddock and Morton do, that's already 2 acquisitions, like bullpen acquisitions. You know why? It gets them away from having to pitch bullpen games twice every 5 days. So now everybody hopefully can settle into a role, and now they have Sewald and Finnegan in that back end to help out guys like Canely and Vest and all these other guys. So I know people like Detroit was never going to trade for a bat. I think they're still trying to figure out what young players they really like and who can play every day. But I know that Chris Paddock and Charlie Morton weren't the sexiest names out there in terms of starting pitching, but if they're giving you 6 every night, that saves the bullpen games from happening. So I get Detroit's philosophy. They're still trying to figure out what young players are going to be able to play every day in this league. And they weren't going to try to get a bat. They weren't going to go make a altering move for a bat like a Suarez and rent him for prospects. Some teams just aren't going to do that.
And the one thing I'm going to say really quick here is I think a big reason the Tigers weren't as aggressive as a lot of people thought they might be is because of Tariq Skubal. His comments that he's been making this season, especially, is to Detroit when his contract is up. So if you're the Tigers, you have that fine line of why am I going to go all in if we are potentially going to lose our best players. So we need to try to hang on to as many of our high-priced prospects now so we have something in play when Skubal elects to leave or whatever.
Yeah, that is a fair point. So It's not the worst thing for Detroit to stand pat, see what happens with Skubal, and see where things go from there. But, gentlemen, do we have anything else we want to add on before we get out of here for the night?
That's about all I got for tonight.
All righty. Well, everyone, thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you all for coming on and talking with us tonight on the 1-year anniversary of the relaunch of 609 Sports Talk. Dustin, of course, thank you as always for coming on with us. Always a pleasure having you on talking some football and some baseball with us.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Guys, for all our fans, thank you for making this past year very enjoyable. We've had a blast. Just the start of something awesome here at 609, and we want to thank you all for your continued support week in and week out, commenting with us, talking with us, and we greatly appreciate every single one of you. So, guys, have a great rest of your week. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. For Dustin Reese, Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.